man, that's disgusting. Oh, okay. You know, I was gonna make a video talking about that article that we had seen insinuating the idea that maybe Jim Rutherford wants out as the Canucks president because of how everything has gone so far, but now we're gonna have to save that for another day because we had ourselves some breaking news that some money has been committed to a player that had just gotten acquired by the New York Islanders. Bo Horvat, ladies and gentlemen, has signed an 8-year contract extension with the Lou Lamoriello-run New York Islanders at $8.5 million a year. Ugh. You know, look, it's an amount of money that I feel a lot of people were sort of expecting Bo to be able to get this season in, let's say, the free agency period or whatever. You could say that the Islanders kind of got first dibs on this entire thing by trading for Horvat in the first place, thus giving them the ability to offer him that money that maybe would have been sent over to him in free agency anyway, but at the same time, man, that's a steep contract. I know that you could definitely say that from the Vancouver point of view, this entire Miller versus Bo thing that was prevalent last summer where the Canucks chose to sign Miller over Bo. You could have had Bo for cheaper, and then he played himself out of Vancouver by scoring so many goals and being probably the best version of himself ever. You could very much say that the way the Miller versus Bo thing was handled in the summer was very poor. I can agree with that. But in a vacuum, just looking at things now and how they've transpired, I would much rather have JT Miller at 7 years by $8 million per versus Bo Horvat 8 years, $8.5 million a season. And it's not even close. Like, I talked about this in the entire What You're Getting with Bo Horvat video, but Bo is having a career year, and this is a really, really good step up in production, in goals, in everything pretty much. He is shooting at a really high unsustainable shooting percentage, and it's gotten to a point now where the Islanders, after trading away all this stuff for this guy, have just signed a 27-year-old forward who is in the midst of a prime career year to a $68 million contract extension, and he hasn't even played a game for their team yet. This is not like, oh man, you are paying this guy for the body of work he did with the Vancouver Canucks in 2022-2023. This is not really a big price tag being set for Bo Horvat, the player, in general. This is the price tag being set for Bo Horvat in year 9 of his career? He's 27 years old. By the time this contract is over, he'll be 35. Dude. Oh, man. Like, I'm not gonna go out there and start hating on Bo or whatever, but, like, good on him. Good on him for getting the bag. But the Islanders, dude, I think you could give it out to Lou Lamoriello for pretty much preaching what the choir is saying here. It's too long and it's too much money. Yeah, he actually said that. He believes contracts today are too long and for too much money. And my idea is, okay, well, at least you're admitting it. I mean, we all know that Lou Lamoriello is 80 already. What is he, 80 exactly? Yeah, he's 80. He turned 80 back in October. So he's, for lack of a better term, old. So he probably doesn't have the focus in mind to build in the future and get young guys and do whatever because, I mean, look, if he could try to capitalize on what's already there, build this team, and hopefully see success in front of his own two eyes the next little while here, then I guess there's an opportunity for him to do that with trades like these and contract signings like these because Bo Horvat, at the end of the day, has been a very consistent 60-ish point center, a face-off winning player whose two-way game isn't amazing, who can also score some on-the-rush snipes while adding on that rebound and tip-in front skill to his repertoire from this season. However, when it comes to the Islanders and their construction, this is a tweet from James Johnson that I thought was pretty funny to go out there and look at. In 3 years, the Islanders are going to have Horvat at 30, making 8.5, 35-year-old Anders Lee making 7, 34-year-old Brock Nelson making 6, 35-year-old Cal Palmieri making 5, 34-year-old JG Pageau making 5, and 34-year-old Casey Cizikas making 2.5. Let Lou cook. Obviously, this tweet is being facetious, and it's highlighting the expenditures that the New York Islanders have bestowed upon themselves for the next few years. But Bo Horvat being at the top of that list, making 8.5 until he's 35 years old. Oh, yeah, I just... Thank goodness Vancouver didn't sign him to that contract. Like, Miller, whatever, I know Miller is making a lot of money too, but Miller is cheaper and Miller is better at producing points, or at least historically he has been. In general, you could say this season Bo has been quote-unquote better, but just the past few years. At the very least, Miller had a 99-point year last year, and he had a 70-something point year, which would have been a point-per-game season, over 82 points, had that year finished up. That was the bubble year, if you remember correctly. So, I mean, just seeing everything go down... Good for Bo for getting the bag, but the Islanders, man, what in the world? I will say, though, there are a lot of Islanders fans that are pretty optimistic about this, and I'll say that if you're looking for this to be a steal of a contract or whatever, you're really going to have to hope that Bo Horvat's goal-scoring production, which, in my opinion, was kind of unsustainable in the first place and was just kind of out of nowhere, really. You have to hope that that continues itself on a team that doesn't move the puck as well as Vancouver does on the power play, on a team that doesn't really produce all too much just in general. So, I don't know, if Bo Horvat is the guy that is increasing your power play production, then good for him. However, I will say that a lot of the Canucks power play success with Bo Horvat was mostly a function of Miller and Hughes, plus Petey rotating the puck on the umbrella before either sending it out in front for Bo to snipe it, or getting it on net for Bo to put in that rebound. You have to have a lot of really good moving pieces around Bo in order for him to succeed on the power play, because Bo Horvat just individually is not going to be able to sustain that 20-something shooting percentage that he has if he doesn't have guys that are able to feed him the puck and open up space to create those shooting lanes in the first place. So, at the end of the day, it's really an experiment that you're going to have to wait and see. It's so odd to me how you got this done without even seeing a game out of the guy, but at the end of the day, Lou Lamoriello is going to Lou Lamoriello. You needed this to get done because if you ended up losing out on Horvat for nothing, you traded away Ratu Beauvillier in that first for only a few games worth of Horvat, then that would have been a disaster in its own right. But only time will tell how this contract is going to age. Bo Horvat is getting the bag, and I think for Vancouver Canucks fans, we're all kind of just relieved a little bit that this is not what the Canucks shelled out for Bo. I know you could say that it's kind of a product of circumstance. This should have happened in the summer. You should have signed Bo for something in the $6.9, $7 million range, and that would have been okay, but I feel like that would have been pushing it a little bit too far as well. I don't know. I mean, he's a career 55, 60-point center. Like, take a time machine back to the summer and say, hey, Bo Horvat would have been one of the top goal scorers in the NHL, but he would have been demanding a lot of money, and he would have gotten 8.5, signing with another team. Like, I don't know, Canucks fans back in that time frame would have been kind of freaking out if you told them that. Take that time machine and go back to 2020, for example, and you say, hey, Bo Horvat's extension after making 5-point-something AAV, that's going to be huge. It's going to be 8.5. It's going to be the most expensive contract if you look at all the Vancouver Canucks-related contracts. Miller's making 8. Even OEL is making 7-point-something against the Canucks cap. He's making 8-point-something just in general because the Arizona Coyotes retain salary on him. This is bananas, isn't it? But good on Bo for getting that bag. I will say that at the end of the day. Hopefully he's able to sustain the production he has had and make it so that that contract is actually worth it. I'm skeptical, but I would love nothing more than for the Islanders to have this guy as a player that they feel is worth the money 2, 3, 4 years down the line, because I don't know, I just haven't seen enough out of him over the last 9 years to make me believe that that is going to be the case, but I hope I'm proven wrong. Talk in the comments your thoughts if you're a Canucks fan and or an Islanders fan. What are your opinions about Bo Horvat's new extension? $8.5 million a year by 8 years. It's steep, it's big, but hopefully it's worth it. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, though, what your opinions are and the like. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.